Hi guys, it's Heather Harris from Charity Preschool. I just wanted to take a moment and do a quick video to go over some of the information that we would have normally covered in our parent night meeting that we're not doing this year because of COVID. We're just going to do it in a quick video. The first thing I wanted to cover was our curriculum. The teachers write the curriculum based on the children in the classroom that year. So we'll do a quick assessment on your kids, and that'll help us better write the curriculum for the kids that are actually in class each year. We can specify it for where we see weaknesses or where we see strengths and not cover things we don't need to. And it's an ongoing curriculum based on those kids. We also follow the Virginia Standards for Learning for all ages from 2 through kindergarten. Our registration fees were billed when you enrolled, and they should have been paid at that time, but if for some reason you haven't paid the registration fee, please make sure that you add that to your September tuition. Our tuition is a yearly tuition that's separated into 9 payments so that you can easily pay the same amount each month throughout the year. It's billed on the 1st of each month, and it's late after the 10th. So the first payment was billed on September 1st, and it'll be late after September 10th, but we give you a little extra time in September because there's so many things happening. We want to make sure you have time to get that in. But just remember that it's billed on the 1st of each month, all the way from September through May, and late after the 10th. And that the amount shouldn't change. So there's a couple ways that you can pay that. You can pay through check, through cash. You can pay through your bill pay option online. Usually your bank will have an option where they'll mail us a check each month, and all you need is our address and the amount you want to send and the date that you want it to be sent by. And also starting in October, we'll have an ACH transfer option. So we'll be getting out more information to you about that. And anytime you decide that Charity Preschool isn't for you, or your plans change, or you're moving, we just need a 30 days notice in order to change our records and our billing process. So if you decide that you no longer want your child to attend, we ask that you give us a 30 days notice, and the fees for the next 30 days would be due, but then after that, you're good to go. Our calendar, we follow the public school calendar for closing days and holidays throughout the year. We use it for vacations and holidays so that we match up better with the children that are at the public school. But we also use it for things like teacher work days because our teachers are required to have 16 to 20 hours each year of continuous training. And so we use those training days just like the public school teachers do throughout the year. Arrival and pickup. So this year, at the beginning of the school year, we're going to have you dropping your child off right at their classroom doors. That's at the classroom that you met in for the meet and greet. You can bring your child through the front door and either go down the hallway towards Miss Patty and Miss Heidi and Miss Catherine's classrooms, drop off at their classrooms and go out the side. Or if you're headed upstairs, you can come in the front door, head up our main stairwell, and either make a left to go down to Miss Kristen and Miss Amy's classroom, or Miss Cody and Miss Christie's classrooms are there on the right. And then you will exit out of the building for the closest exit. So we ask that Miss Cody and Miss Christie's class, instead of going back down the main stairwell, that you go ahead and continue past my office and come down by the front door. And we can show you the way. That way you're just not trying to go down a stairwell where people are coming up. That'll kind of help us not have quite as much mixing. And then pickup will either be at the front door or at the side door. So Miss Cody and Miss Christie's class will pick up at the front door, so you'll just wait outside the front door and we'll bring the kids down. Or Miss Amy, Miss Kristen, Miss Heidi, Miss Patty, and Miss Catherine's class will pick up at the side door at your designated pickup time. So you'll wait down in the grass by the side door on the Gumbridge side, and when the teacher's ready, they'll come over, see who's out there, and bring the children to the door. If for some reason you have a class pickup time, which may be either 11:45 or 12 or 1 o'clock based on the classroom that you have, If your pickup time is a little bit different and you have more than one child, so one's at 11:45 and one's at 12, just let us know and we'll adjust that for you so you can use the same pickup time for both kids. When you bring your kids in the morning and you're dropping off upstairs, we ask that you take them potty, wash their hands, and get them ready for the day before you bring them to the class. The class bathrooms may be labeled depending on where you are, so just kind of ask the teachers if you're not sure of which bathroom they should use. Also, when you bring your children into the building, or even when you enter our building, we want to make sure that you don't have any symptoms of COVID or any other communicable disease, and that you haven't been in contact with anyone in the last 14 days who's tested positive for COVID, nor are you yourself waiting for a test result. So just be sure that as you're coming in each morning, that you kind of do a self-check, check for your child, that they don't have any symptoms, there's nothing to be concerned on. They shouldn't have had Tylenol or any reason to have it in the last 24 hours, those kind of things each morning. We're gonna just do kind of a quick health assessment on them and kind of get them into the classroom and moving. Our health policy really hasn't changed a whole lot because we've always asked that if your child didn't feel well, that you keep them home. So fever, vomiting, diarrhea, any reason for Tylenol in the last 24 hours, we've always asked that you keep them home. We've always asked that you keep them home at the onset of any cold. It may seem like just all of a sudden they have, a little head congestion and whatnot, but then you bring them in the morning and within an hour or so they're throwing up or they're running a high fever. So if you notice that they're starting to have some of those symptoms, it's better to keep them home, err on the side of caution, give them 24 hours at least, and then you can touch base with me and I can help you decide whether or not that's a reason that they need to stay home for. Sorry about that. Also, head congestion, runny nose, cough, even things like pink eye, those are other reasons that they need to stay home. And this year, of course, we're going to be, just like we were last year, pretty strict about what we can have. If we have to wipe your child's nose once, that happens, it's not a big deal. But if their nose is running continually all day long, then that's a little bit more of a concern for us. So just be aware that we're going to be looking for those things and help us out. Also, if your child does get any kind of disease or cold or whatnot, we ask that you let us know within 24 hours. That way we can let the other parents in class know, hey, we have a child in your child's class that has the flu or has, whatever it is, and they can be watching for symptoms at home. And we also can do a little bit of a more deep cleaning on the classroom. So that will help us out a lot. So again, just as a reminder, if you or someone in your household has tested positive for COVID or has been in contact with someone, or if you or someone in your household has symptoms or are waiting for test results about COVID, we ask that you stay home. You can certainly give me a call or send me a message on Remind or through my email, and I can help you walk through the steps of when it's safe to return and how to make sure we keep the classroom safe. The better we do at this, the less likely we are to have to close the classroom due to an exposure. Hand washing. Hand washing has always been a big deal at Charity. Before COVID was even a thing that we were all talking about, we always had everybody come in first thing in the morning and wash your hands before you went in and touched any of the toys. And we're just going to keep that process up. The teachers will be washing hands as they come in. The kids, you should be taking them to the bathroom and having them wash their hands. But we also wash them throughout the day, after we go to the playground, before we eat, after we go to the bathroom. And we also use hand sanitizer for little things like if they wipe their hand across their face in the classroom or whatnot. So we're just gonna increase our hand washing and hand sanitizer using, and hopefully that'll help out quite a bit. Medication. The only medication that we're approved to give your child, if your child needs it and you supply it to us, is Benadryl, an inhaler, or an EpiPen. There's a lot of paperwork that goes along with that, so make sure you've touched base with me if your child has an allergy or asthma and needs any of those medications. And just be aware that things like amoxicillin, Tylenol, even things like bugs spray or sunscreen is all considered medication, and we can't give that during the building or while your child's at the building. They're typically here only 3 to 6 hours a day, so you can give it before you drop them off in the morning, or kind of schedule it so that it doesn't fall during the time that they're here. If your child's in need of Tylenol or something like that, it's probably best that you keep them home. We ask that they don't come in Tylenol, or that you don't send them to preschool in if they're taking Tylenol in the last 24 hours for a fever, but sometimes you need it for pain and other things, and it still might be a good idea to keep them home for that. If your child is injured in any way while they're at care, we will definitely write you an accident report and let you know what happened. That way you're kind of aware of any scrapes or bruises or anything. If your child bumps their head from the shoulders up, we'll usually give you a phone call and let you know, hey, I just want you to know they bumped their head. This is what they look like. We gave them ice. That way you're aware of it right away. Authorized pickup list. So the new parent pack had an authorized pickup list in it where you're going to write down at least 2 people besides the parents or guardians that can pick your child up from school. We're pretty strict with that, and we ask that you make sure you only send someone that's on the authorized pickup list to pick your child up. We also ask that you make sure they have their IDs and that you have your ID, especially in the beginning, because there's lots of parents and lots of grandparents and aunts and uncles and nannies. It's a lot of people for us to remember. And so it helps us out if you have your ID and we can just ask you really quick to confirm that you're the right person picking that child up. Also, if your child is doing soccer or dance, you need to make sure that you put a note on the authorized pickup that it's okay for us to release them to the soccer or dance coaches for that time. That's run by an outside company that uses our space. So we sign the children over to them and they do their soccer or dance, and either you pick them up from those teachers, or if they're coming back to aftercare, we'll go back and get them. But they need to be signed out into their care during that time. If you have an emergency and you can't send whoever's on your pickup list, you can send us an email, write us a note, or even send a message on Remind. We just need something in print that I can print out, something written out with the name of the person that you need to add to your pickup list. And then clear instructions on whether you're just sending them this one time and you'll never send them again, so it's only good for today, or you want to permanently add this person to your pickup list because you've decided to use them for emergencies. So just make sure that you send that in and give us a call and let us know, or you can give us a note in the morning that you've written out and we can add that for you. When your children first come into the building, we'll be working on assessing them so that we have a better understanding of what they know, and then we'll do a parent-teacher conference in early November so we can let you know, hey, this is what we did an assessment, these are our goals for your child for the rest of the school year, and our plan as we go from there. Then we do another assessment in the spring and have another parent-teacher conference with you. But at any time you'd like to meet with your teachers, just let us know. Again, Remind is a great way to reach us. When you send a message on Remind, it only goes to the teachers in your class and myself. You're not blasting it out to all of the parents in the class. You can also click right on your teacher's name or right on my name, and it'll just go to that one person. If you have major events in your family, like you move or you have a new baby or you lose a pet, it's really great if you can kind of just let us know that your child needs a little special attention that day. A little handle with care note is great. These things sometimes show up as tantrums at school or short tempers that we don't typically see in your child. And so it just helps us know, oh, I understand what's happening here. Let me just take a little extra time and give them a little extra snuggles. That would be great. So again, you can send that through Remind or just let us know in the morning when you drop them off. Snack. We ask that you pack your child a snack every day. If there's a child in your child's class that has a food allergy, we'll let you know that their snack or lunch needs to be free from that food. Otherwise, pack them a snack, something simple and light that they can just eat kind of quickly and move on with their day for snack. Lunch, of course, can be a little bit more, but if you send a whole sandwich for snack time, we only have a little bit of time to do it, and the kids, want to sit and eat the whole sandwich, and that can be kind of a hard situation because we need to clean up and get out to the playground so we don't miss their playground time. So send a quick snack with 2 to 3 components, a drink, if it needs a spoon like for yogurt or whatnot, and maybe some crackers, just to kind of fill their tummies until you pick them up at 12 o'clock. If they're doing lunch, you can pack them both in the same lunch box with their name clearly labeled on the outside. And if you would like to say, this is what's for snack and the rest of it's for lunch, that's fine. You can either send a big thermos, big enough for drinks for both, or you can send a little water bottle and a Capri Sun or whatever you choose for drinks. Just remember that they'll have them at 2 different times, so that you have that. And make sure that you send in a cooling pack so they don't go in the refrigerator or anything. So make sure that if you have yogurt in there or something that's going to need to stay cool, that you put a little cooling pack in with it. We ask that you send in healthy foods. We talk about how food is fuel for our bodies, and so we encourage you to send in things that we're going to make them feel good and have energy for the rest of the day, and keep low on those high sugar contents. Of course, it's okay to send in a couple cookies or something like that, but we try to encourage them to eat their healthy food first. And we do have plenty of times for celebration, so we're happy to celebrate your child's birthday with them, with the rest of the class. Let the teacher know that you'd like to do that. We'll typically bring it out at snack time after everyone's finished their snack. Then we'll have a special treat. Again, we want to make sure that we're careful with anybody with allergies, so we ask that all of the snacks that you're sharing with the class for a celebration or whatnot is store-bought, sealed, and has an allergy label on it. That way we're sure that we know exactly what's contained in that allergy. And then let us know, because if we do have someone in class that we need to give them a heads up so they have something special, we just want to have time to do that. Toys from home. We ask that you don't send anything into the building with the kids other than their bag and their snacks or lunch for the day. Any toys or things like that, we want to make sure number 1 is clean and not bringing germs in, but number 2 is something that everyone shares amongst themselves. So no toys from home, no things like that. If your child has a special blankie or snuggie that they kind of use and it'll fit in their bag, you can send it in their bag, but make sure they know that that's going to stay in the bag, and it'll be in the hallway if they need to take a peek at it, but it needs to stay in there and not come out. We want to make sure that your child is set up for success. So make sure that when you're dressing them for the day, that you don't do things like suspenders, belts. Those other items can be pretty hard for the kids to undo themselves. And when they're rushing to the bathroom, which it seems like they're always doing at this age, having to stop and kind of undo a belt or something like that can be difficult. So something that they can pull up themselves, they have an easy time buttoning or zipping, and doesn't need help. Now, of course, we're happy to help them if we need to, but remember that we have 10 kids that are all trying to go to the bathroom or do different things, and we don't want to slow your child down and have them have an accident because it took us a minute to get to them and get their snap undone or whatnot. So just consider that. Also, if your child's wearing a dress, we encourage you to put little shorts underneath it. The kids like to run and tumble and flip and climb, and we want to be able to do that and still be modest. So we encourage shorts underneath their dresses. Make sure that you pack in things that are weather appropriate. So we're going to try whenever we can to be outside. We love to be out in nature. We have a beautiful campus. And so if it's a rainy day, but it's not pouring down rain and there's no lightning, we might go ahead and take a walk outside. So they're gonna need that raincoat. If it's cold, we'll probably spend a good amount of time inside, but we might still go take a walk and see, what's happening out in nature on that day, or do a science experiment outside. So you're gonna wanna send them in with a hat and gloves and whatnot. So just make sure that you change those things up based on the weather. If your child's in the 2s or 3s and needs pull-up or wipes, please send those in. You can send in a whole pack that we can stash here. Just write their name on it and we'll just kind of keep a stash of them happening. Remember that we don't do diapers at all, and children in the 4s classes and up should be fully potty trained and not needing those. We'll also encourage our 2s and 3s to be in underpants as quickly as possible. So we have you taking them back to the bathroom when you first get in, and we'll continue that and take them throughout the day and also whenever they ask. And hopefully we'll all be on that potty trained and in underpants really quickly. Okay, so I also wanted to mention that we're asking everyone to make sure that they park in the parking lot this year. I know people like to park on the Gumbridge side next to that little grass area. There's some bushes and people will park along the side. We're asking for you not to do that. We're asking that you do not park in a handicap spot unless you have a handicap sticker. We'll be releasing children outside in mass, so there's larger groups of kids outside at that time. And with people trying to back up and kids walking past, it just can be a little dangerous. There's a parking lot across the way. There's crosswalks that come over, and we ask that you use the parking lot. If you need help, you have a sleeping baby, either find another parent maybe that can stand by the car and you can run in, or vice versa, add them to your pickup list, or just give us a call and we'd be happy to walk them over to you once we get the other kids released. We just want to make sure it's safe for everyone around the drop-off area. If your child is staying for aftercare, drop-off works or pickup works a little bit different. So you can pick them up anytime after the class ends and before 3 o'clock. So the building closes at 3 and they can be picked up anytime from class ends, which is typically around 12 o'clock, to 3 o'clock. For that first hour, 45 minutes, they have lunch, so we'll probably be in a classroom. You can come to the front door and ring the green doorbell, and someone will come down and let you in and get your child for you. And then after that, they usually have some kind of a science or cooking activity or something fun happening in their classroom, and then they go to the playground. Once we go to the playground, we'll put a sign on the door that says the kids are on the playground. So you can kind of drive by the front door if you're picking up in the afternoon and look for that sign. And then you can just drive right to the playground and we'll have all of their belongings with them. So you don't have to come inside and go outside. But again, just as a reminder, if your child's staying for aftercare, the building closes at 3 o'clock. So all children must be picked up and gone by 3. Shoes. So we ask that your child has shoes that covers the front and the back. We have sand and wood chip and grass and bumblebees and all sorts of things out on the playground, just like they are outside at any park. And it's just safer for your child if they have something that covers the front and holds onto the back of their foot. We ask for no boots. Those can be really difficult in circle time when they're trying to sit crisscross applesauce or mermaid style. They're difficult to run in the sand. Our floors can be a little slippery depending on the boot, and some of the other boots that are non-slip tend to mark up our floors. So it's just better that we don't do any boots whatsoever. We've also had kids accidentally step on a friend's fingers and really hurt them because the bottom of the boot was hard. So those are just kind of some things to remember, as well as dress-up shoes. They're cute, they're pretty, but they're not the best thing for running around the building, and those floors make them a little extra slippery. So it's better for some kind of tennis shoe or a sandal that covers the front and the back of their foot so that their foot's kind of protected and safe so they can run and play. Your snack and your lunch bag, like I said, everything can be together this year, and you can bring it with your regular bag, which are allowed back in the building, so that's wonderful. So you should have gotten a charity preschool bag if you don't have one already. Your snack or lunch bag can be just a regular lunch box with their name on everything, and put them together and they can carry them in and hang them up each morning. Face masks are recommended for everyone in the building and required for children or adults over 12 that are not immunized. So please help us to keep everyone safe and to follow the rules that United Methodist Church has put into place by doing that. And I hope with all of those things and all of the cleaning that we'll be doing, we've done some other measures. For instance, We've put one chair on each side of the table so there's not two kids pushed really close to each other. We're gentle reminders to kind of back up and give each other a little bit of space. We've put footprints on the floor while we're waiting to go to the bathroom that are a little bit more spread out. I hope with all of those things we can have a safe, happy, healthy school year, and we can stay open throughout the year, and that'll all depend on how much you guys help us more than anything. So we really appreciate it. Please be patient with us. We're excited to have you back, and we're working really hard to stay open. So we look forward to a great year. You can always reach me at charitypreschool@gmail.com or at the preschool number, which is 757-426-5264, or through the Remind app. I look forward to hearing from you guys. Take care. Bye.